Like when I still go to a keyboard, my hands automatically go to the keys that I'm used to playing.
I've been obviously a player of the Warcraft games right from the start, but into World of Warcraft was basically, I used to run a guild for a game called Ultima Online. As that game started to wind down, we were looking for a new game to do, so we moved across to World of Warcraft.
I started playing a game called RuneScape, and one of my friends told me, "Why are you playing this? There's a better game out there called Warcraft. Why don't you try that?"
I actually got into the game through my manager in retail. I was working at Game at the time. I had a bit of a addicted manager, and we reached an agreement where he'd spare me the disgrace of having to deal with irate customers if I got off the shop floor and power leveled one of his characters for him.
Obviously there was kind of a division amongst the clan as to whether we should split or whether we should be Horde or Alliance. So I kind of had this Sophie's choice moment where I had to decide which side I would go with, as the group of real world friends and players had kind of divided themselves up.
So I became a Tauren warrior, and I really liked that starting area. It was really fun, and I really liked my character. She was female, she was black and white, and so I called her Frisiana because she's like a Frisian cow. There were a lot of cow puns going around with Tauren names at that time.
And Mage Gnome, and yes, I bounced around everywhere.
Inglot the Rogue, Apex the Warrior, Siphon the Warlock.
I would always play as generally what's called a tank, which is sort of a heavily armored character, which is up front for, to take all the damage and hopefully deliver as much as possible as well. I wouldn't say that I was much of a Leroy, but I was certainly, I I was good at standing in one place and bashing stuff. What can I say?
I'm gonna get to the highest reputation for Alteric Valley. All you have to do is stay there. You don't have to do anything, you have to participate, and you would gain reputation. However, WoW has a idle timer. So after 5 minutes, it would kick you out. I would set the timer on my watch for 4 minutes and 30 seconds, and then go to sleep. As soon as my watch would go off, I would run to my computer, hit the space bar, which makes your character jump, and then it would reset the timer.
We basically toured all the bars of the world, started in Stormwind as two Worgans, and we would drink virtual beer and regular beer at the same time until our Worgen selves were standing on the tables in all these bars throwing up. And then as our virtual characters got virtually drunk and virtually threw up, we then got virtually thrown out of this virtual bar.
There must be some entrepreneurial way of making gold that no one else has thought of. I took all my characters' clothes off and sort of danced, and I sort of spoke aloud so that other characters could see like sea shanties and stuff, and I was basically like busking. I thought if I sing enough shanties, then maybe I'll get gold that way.
While you're on the your mount, you could just type /Peggle and a Peggle window would pop up. So like that became my main thing for ages. I'd do journeys that were like to a point and back to play Peggle. Don't ask me why I didn't just play Peggle outside of it.
There were two people in our guild who, one of them proposed to the other in-game, and that was really cute. So we all came together and did like this little engagement party in-game, which was really fun. It was a lovely experience.
Being in a world that just felt full of other people, all doing their own things, like beetling around and crafting things and selling stuff.
Just exploring the world. I just remember being amazed that there's this virtual world, and it was so big, and theoretically you could walk across it from one end to the other in real time, and it would take you ages, but you could do it.
It was like Saturday afternoon around 4 o'clock, and I realized that I hadn't eaten since Friday night.
The pressure to keep up with the gear that we needed and preparing for raids was quite difficult with a full-time job.
The PvE stuff wasn't getting you anything. You were doing it over and over again, and you had to go and take on the Lich King or do X and Y against the giant boss, and that was kind of like, I don't really want to do that.
It was kind of like a second job. So I would be at work, I'd be here for like 10 hours, right? And then I would go home, and I was like, all right, I gotta do this, I gotta do this, I do my dailies.
I realized that I was turning down real life events and stuff because I'd said that I would like tank a raid that night or something. And if you don't, if you don't show up, then how are you going to get on a raid the next night.
I ran out of time, quite literally. I mean, I was spending a lot of time doing it, and then work really sort of became very busy and active, and I just had to kind of let it go if I wanted to pursue the career I was hoping to do.
Some very, very happy times, and I can't help but feel that there was also like an immense amount of time and personal potential wasted.
Has such an addictive quality, and I look back, and it's weird because I look back on it really fondly, but I would never go back again. You know, I would say don't play it.